Just a quick short intro before we begin the video. Thank you so much for 500 subscribers. Anyways, let's get straight into this 500 subscriber special. So we start off at Battle of Gods, where the events occur as usual. Beerus is really impressed with Super Saiyan God. Looks like these Saiyans could eventually become his true rivals. Goku was amazing in Beerus' eyes, and he had so much potential, and this potential had to be shaped immediately. He didn't have the patience to wait that long. So Beerus threatens Earth. He threatens Goku. He places his hand right above Goku's forehead, threatening to Hakai him from existence if he didn't start his training with Whis immediately. Goku obviously isn't too happy about this threat, but he's pretty hyped up about training with Whis. Of course, Vegeta immediately interjects as well, demanding to get training from Whis as well. He wasn't gonna let Goku surpass him any longer, and wanted the Super Saiyan God power for himself. So Whis decides to transport both Goku and Vegeta to Beerus' planet. 30 minutes later, they arrive at Beerus' planet, a weird looking planet with green grass and purple trees. Goku and Vegeta want to start their training immediately. Honestly, Whis wanted to savor some of the sweets and treats he got from Bulma on Earth, but their enthusiasm rubs off onto him, so he decides to start training them immediately. Goku and Vegeta are put through intense training, unlike anything they've ever experienced. Their body, soul, and mind are put to the test by Whis' harsh training methods, and their ki and power levels rise significantly in a short period of time. One thing to note before I continue the story is that this is actually 6 months ahead of schedule for Goku, because Vegeta had actually trained for 6 months under Whis before Goku had actually arrived at Beerus' planet in canon. So Goku actually gets 6 months extra of training. Vegeta benefits from this as well, because Goku is there to serve as motivation and as an extra sparring partner. So in just a few months time, Goku and Vegeta have already unlocked and harnessed Super Saiyan Blue. This was a significant achievement. Beerus was impressed at their level and speed of growth. And this is actually 4 months before Frieza's arrival on Earth. So Goku and Vegeta still have a lot more training to do. Whis suggests to start on some specialized training. He wanted both Goku and Vegeta to harness the powers of self-movement, the powers of autonomous Ultra Instinct, the power of the angels. And so, in the next month or so, Goku and Vegeta start learning and trying to tap into Ultra Instinct. However, Vegeta soon realizes that this power did not align with his own personality at all. He was too much of a thinker during fights, and this power did not align with his fighting style or technique, and he ended up just wasting time trying to learn this Ultra Instinct move. It aligned far more with Kakarot's personality. So Vegeta approaches this topic with Whis. Honestly, Whis was a bit dismayed at this. I mean, this was his technique and Vegeta didn't want to learn it. But oh well, what could he do? He points Vegeta to Beerus, telling Vegeta that Ultra Instinct wasn't the only godly technique available to him. In fact, Beerus had a power at his arsenal that Vegeta could harness and tap into. Possibly a power that's more easy to harness than Ultra Instinct. Vegeta was a bit reluctant at first. I mean, Beerus was a lazy cat who didn't do anything all day. How could he be a good teacher? Beerus scoffs at this, telling him that he would teach Vegeta in the best way possible. Vegeta wouldn't even deny his ultimate teaching expertise after this intense training session. So Vegeta and Goku split up, with Vegeta training with Beerus while Goku continues his training with Whis, trying to tap into Ultra Instinct. Both of them undergo intense training during this 4-month period, and as usual, the events of Resurrection F take place. A Frieza ship arrives on Earth, and Frieza steps out. He had undergone 4 months of intense training and unlocks a new power to defeat those Saiyan monkeys. As usual, he deploys his soldiers first just to, see the situation on Earth, how the fighters will handle them. And as usual, the entire Frieza army gets obliterated. Of course, this is until Frieza himself steps in, and the rusty Gohan is unable to fend off Frieza. Just as Frieza is about to finish Gohan off, Goku instant transmissions onto the scene and immediately deflects the blast, hitting Gohan's way, saving Gohan's life. Now, Goku prepares to face off against Final Form Frieza, and this Goku is far different from the Goku we saw in canon, with 6 months extra training on Beerus' planet and some specialized training under Whis. Goku is far ahead of Frieza in this form and immediately passes Frieza around, throwing him around like a ragdoll. Frieza is disappointed at his own power. How could Goku be so far ahead of him? He was pissed and angry. Looks like he just had to bring out his trump card immediately as he starts transforming, the entire earth shaking due to the immense power he was emanating. All the Z fighters were afraid as Frieza finally shows off his new transformation. A golden aura surrounds him. This was Golden Frieza. And honestly, Goku expected more. I mean, the jump power was pretty impressive, but it felt quite insignificant compared to his own power. Of course, Frieza saw Goku is mocking him, immediately challenging Goku to transform into that Super Saiyan form of his. However, Goku shows off a new transformation, Super Saiyan God. He believed that Super Saiyan God was more than enough to handle Frieza at this level of power. Goku and Frieza launch each other, and Goku immediately has the upper hand as he throws Frieza around like a ragdoll and immediately lands a lethal punch on Frieza, sending Frieza flying into the distance. Frieza crashes through a few mountains before catching himself mid-air. How the hell was Goku this strong? Goku didn't seem to even be using his full power. Frieza was angry and pissed off. There was no way he was gonna go down like this. No way! However, before Frieza could respond, Goku immediately charges a Kamehameha, too fast for Frieza to even register before wiping him out of existence. Goku honestly wasn't impressed with Frieza's power at all, so he just decided to end the fight quick. After all, he didn't want to repeat what happened on Namek. So now we move on into the Universe 6 tournament arc. And Goku and Vegeta take their training into the hyperbolic time chamber as usual for 3 years. They were going to harness the powers they learned from Beerus and Whis respectively. Vegeta had already started tapping into Ultra Ego somewhat. However, his power was still unsteady and he could only activate it when he was low on stamina. However, unfortunately for Goku, he couldn't even tap into Ultra Instinct Omen at will at this point in time. Vegeta was far ahead in terms of his progression in the Ultra Ego form. So, as Vegeta and Goku clash, Vegeta taps into Ultra Ego, and Goku is immediately completely outmatched. Goku transforms into Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken just to try to get an edge over Vegeta. However, Vegeta's power far eclipses Goku at this point in time. Goku is pushed to his limit as the Hakai Ball is sent towards him. Goku tries to push it back. However, the Hakai Ball just continuously flies towards him. It wasn't slowing down. Goku uses all his power to try to push the ball back. However, the ball expands and expands and explodes, causing Goku to disappear in a flash of light. Vegeta wasn't worried at all. There was no way his rival, his lifelong rival, was going to fall to this technique. There was no way. And just as Vegeta started to doubt himself, the entire hyperbolic time chamber starts to shake under a new guise of power as the power erupts in front of Vegeta. Vegeta merely smirks. This was Ultra Instinct Omen. Goku finally tapped into the power Whis was training him towards, and now they continue their fight. Vegeta smirks. This was gonna be a fun one as they launched towards each other. Now Ultra Instinct Omen Goku will continue to train with Ultra Ego Vegeta during these next 3 years. Will their training allow them to defeat the Universe 6 team, or will the Universe 6 team prevail? Well, these are all questions you'll answer today on Dragon Ball Super. So now the Universe 6 tournament begins, and much of the tournament actually proceeds as usual, with the first round Goku defeating Botamo with complete ease as he throws Botamo out of the ring. Next up is Frost, and Frost is a despicable person as we all know. So base Goku faces off against Frost, and Frost is actually pushed to his final form this time around. Originally, final form Frost was able to put base form Goku on the ropes, and Goku had to turn Super Saiyan. But in this version of events, Goku is much stronger, and base form Goku was still able to match Frost punch by punch, and even overwhelm Frost in certain situations. Frost had no choice but to utilize his poison needle, and immediately this poison needle grazes Goku, and Goku is sent flying out of the arena, unconscious. Everyone is just super confused. Goku didn't even transform, like he was in his base form the entire time. And as usual, Frost gets exposed, and Vegeta faces off against Frost, completely obliterating Frost in just one punch. The rest of the tournament is pretty much the same. So Vegeta defeats Vegeta and then teaches Kaba how to go Super Saiyan. And then finally, the final fight, the final opponent of Universe 6, the assassin, Hit. And Vegeta immediately could tell that Hit was no easy opponent. So Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan Blue immediately. This wasn't anywhere near the top of his power currently, but he wanted a test of his own strength versus Hit's power. And take note that Vegeta's base form in this version of events is much stronger than in canon. However, Hit is much stronger than Vegeta thought. And in Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta couldn't even land a single punch on Hit. Vegeta was being overwhelmed, and Hit is kinda unimpressed. Was this all Vegeta had to offer? Vegeta stands up, beaten and battered, with blood flowing down his arm. Well, looks like he had to transform as he lets out a loud scream, the entire area shaking with immense power. Vegeta transforms into Ultra Ego. Vegeta couldn't really figure out what technique Hit was using at this point in time. However, he decided he would just overwhelm Hit with pure power. Hit decides to make the first move as he moves towards Vegeta at shocking speeds, using the time skip to appear in and out of sight. At this point, Vegeta had no way to counter Hit's time skip technique, and he just stands there letting Hit punch him a few times. And Hit's punches actually do some damage to Vegeta. However, Vegeta is actually pretty much unfazed. These punches did hurt. However, each punch was powering him up even further. Hit was really intrigued. This was a very powerful technique or transformation, and he knew that Vegeta had more in store. So Vegeta immediately retaliates as he flings his fist towards the arena. This created a huge shockwave that emanated throughout the planet, even shattering the force field that was set up around the arena. He was sent flying backwards as the shockwave actually did considerable amounts of damage to him. He was completely taken off guard. That was super powerful. So he decides to power up his time skip even further to 1 second, 10 times longer than before. However, Vegeta just continued powering up even further, and Hit simply could not match Vegeta's power advancement. And Vegeta launches towards Hit at breakneck speed. Hit couldn't even react in time as Vegeta lands a solid punch on Hit. Hit tries to defend Vegeta's punch, however is just sent flying away into the ground around the arena. Hit was disqualified, and Vegeta the victor of the Universe 6 tournament. So we move onward into the Future Trunks saga, where Trunks returns injured and battered. Everyone is confused. Why did Future Trunks come back? And well, this question is immediately answered when a Vegeta lookalike appeared from a portal, a rift in the sky. This was Vegeta Black, the person responsible for causing the grave injuries to Trunks. And Vegeta is immediately pissed off. Firstly, this guy has a face that looks exactly like him. Secondly, he injured his future son, and Vegeta won't take that standing down. So Vegeta decides to eliminate the threat right away as he transforms to Ultra Ego immediately. Okay, so Vegeta Black is really strong. I mean, he's just a future version of Vegeta. However, he still doesn't really have full control over Vegeta's body and still is unable to even tap into Super Saiyan Rose, Ultra Ego, whatever. He has no access to any transformations at this point in time. Meanwhile, Vegeta has been training Ultra Ego for a significant portion of time now and has a good mastery over it. So Vegeta immediately destroys Vegeta Black in just one punch. Just like that, Vegeta Black was taken care of and Future Trunks returns to his timeline. Trunks reports the good news to Mai, telling Mai that Vegeta Black was completely eradicated by the present timeline people. So as they reunite in happiness, what Trunks doesn't know is that there was an unknown adversary hidden in the shadows. As Trunks recounts the events that occurred in the present timeline to Mai, the unknown adversary reveals himself to be none other than Zamasu. Zamasu was here awaiting Vegeta Black's return, yet he didn't seem to make his return at all. So Zamasu decides to go and interrogate Trunks, attacking the base that Trunks was in. Trunks immediately senses the Ki Blast flying his way, using his sword to deflect the Ki Blast straight back towards Zamasu. Zamasu dodges the Ki Blast, and Trunks immediately lunges forward with his sword, trying to take out Zamasu as far as possible. He wasn't sure who this person was, however, he seemed like a threat, and he was going to take care of him as quickly as possible. Trunks plunges the sword straight into Zamasu's chest, and Zamasu, however, had a smug expression on his face. Trunks was kinda confused. Wasn't Zamasu done for? However, Zamasu reveals himself to be immortal, the wound completely disappearing as he plunges the sword straight back out of his chest. Zamasu explains that he had used the Super Dragon Balls to wish for immortality. There was no way Trunks could defeat him. Trunks transforms into Super Saiyan 2, trying to do the best he could, trying to eradicate Zamasu fully, seeing whether this was similar to the experience he had with Majin Buu. However, Zamasu just regenerates from nothing. Even when a single atom did not remain, Zamasu was still able to come back fully. Zamasu taunts Trunks, telling him not to waste his time any longer, and Trunks decides to take his advice, escaping through the time machine back into the present timeline. Trunks explains the situation to everyone, and everyone was at a loss for words. Honestly, they didn't really know how to deal with an immortal individual. Goku actually suggested using the Fuba technique, sealing Zamasu away for good. However, after Beerus gives Whis permission, Whis decides to interject into the conversation. After all, this was involving the gods, and Whis and Beerus had an obligation to step in. Whis suggests that they could seal Zamasu away but with a more advanced method, passing Trunks a weird looking sword, and Trunks immediately recognizes this sword. This looked identical to the Z sword that he trained with on the Supreme Kai planet. Trunks was kinda confused. What did that have to do with sealing away Zamasu? And Whis explains, this sword, when used to tap Zamasu, will be able to seal Zamasu inside the sword permanently and for good as long as the sword doesn't break. Trunks honestly thinks this is a pretty good idea, and decides to seek out Whis' suggestion as he travels back into his own timeline. Trunks honestly is more than strong enough to contend with Zamasu on his own in Super Saiyan 2. So once again, he powers up to Super Saiyan 2, going full power and lunging straight at Zamasu. And honestly, Zamasu is just completely confident and smart. He just takes Trunks' attacks head on without even bothering to attack. He mocks Trunks, telling Trunks that what he's doing was futile and there was nothing he could do. However, Trunks suddenly takes up another sword, and Zamasu doesn't recognize this sword. What was another sword gonna do? It's not like slicing him into pieces was gonna work. However, as Trunks slices Zamasu, Zamasu is sealed away the sword for good as he disappears from existence. Trunks powers down, happy that he had saved the day, and this time not really needing help from Goku and Vegeta. But anyways, now we move into the final saga of Dragon Ball Super, aka the Universal Survival Saga. Let's skip past most of the details. The Zeno exhibition match does not happen. Without future Zeno there, it's just pretty much no need for the Zeno Expo. As usual, Goku consults Zeno about the tournament, and Zeno decides to hold it just with a small little twist. All the universes were gonna be erased if they lost. Yep. Goku knows he kinda messed up. Just a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit. However, he needed to start recruiting people immediately. So that's what he does, traveling over to Capsule Corporation. After some careful brainstorming, bribing, the saving of some island, the team is finally formed with Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, Master Roshi, Tien-Shin-Han, Krillin, the 2 androids as well as Frieza. The entire team basically is the same. However, what varies greatly here is Goku and Vegeta's power. So let's take a look at Goku first. Goku has fully mastered Ultra Instinct Omen and is able to tap into it at will. He sometimes taps into Master Ultra Instinct when he's pushed to his limit. However, he's still unable to access it reliably. Meanwhile, Vegeta has also done his deal work with Ultra Ego, being able to tap into it at will as well. However, Ultra Ego still kinda depletes his stamina pretty quickly, which is something he was trying to resolve. So the tournament of power begins. No changes to the team here, just that Goku and Vegeta are stronger. So as usual, Krillin is the first one eliminated, being eliminated by Frost, as everyone stares at Krillin in shock. Afterwards, the trio The Dangers is then eliminated by Goku and Vegeta even more easily this time around, as Goku and Vegeta are much stronger. So, as usual, Universe 9 is the first universe to be fully eliminated. Afterwards, Goku spars with Caulifla as usual, and Kale, who is jealous of Goku and Caulifla, decides to power up in a fit of rage, transforming into her legendary Super Saiyan form. Unfortunately, she has lost all semblance of control as she lunges straight at Goku. However, Goku immediately transforms into Super Saiyan 2, and in this version of events, Goku is way stronger. So, Kale is unfortunately defeated by Goku right away, just in Super Saiyan 2. So, without Kale there, the Pride Troopers take advantage of this situation and end up cornering Caulifla. And without Kale's help, Caulifla is eliminated as well, so no Kefla this time around. Goku is kinda bumped out. After all, he wanted Caulifla to achieve greater heights, but whatever, so he decides to just take care of the Pride Troopers that manage to take care of Caulifla, as he eliminates all the Pride Troopers easily. Meanwhile, Vegeta in just Super Saiyan manages to take care of the Universe 3 girls. So afterwards, we move into the fight between God Goku and Hit, as well as Dispo and Kunshi. Unfortunately for Dispo and Kunshi, they are easily eliminated this time around, as God Goku is way stronger. So now we move into the main event of the tournament. Goku versus Jiren. Goku could tell that Jiren was a serious threat. There was no way he's gonna hold anything back. So Goku cycles through all his forms, testing out him and Jiren's power. The difference in power was immense in his base form. So Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan and was still unable to land a single finger on Jiren. However, he decides to transform into Super Saiyan 2, and Jiren decides to actually put some effort into blocking Goku's blows using a single finger. So Goku goes one step further, transforming into Super Saiyan God, and Jiren is actually pushed back slightest. Jiren didn't expect Goku's power to leap up so dramatically. However, Jiren decides to take things more seriously and power up even more, and starts to overpower Super Saiyan God Goku once again. So Goku takes things one step further and transforms into Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. So Jiren's immediately taken aback by this. Okay, this is a pretty powerful form. So Jiren powers up, and immediately Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku is overwhelmed. Goku couldn't believe it. Okay, looks like he'll have to take things one step further once again, as he decides to concentrate, as he closes his eyes and masters all his concentration. clearing his mind of any doubts, any uncertainties. And Goku transforms into Ultra Instinct Omen. Jiren could tell this was no joke. This was a serious power that Goku was possessing. The power of the angels. He could recognize it at first glance, as Goku and Jiren decided to clash at each other, their immense speed shaking the entire world of void. And Jiren suddenly realizes that he was actually no match for Goku. Not in this form. Goku was actually overpowering him. So Jiren decides just to unleash everything he had, everything he got, as he powers up to his maximum, unleashing his full power. Jiren's full power was finally obtained as his shirt gets ripped off from his shoulder, and suddenly Goku is pushed back onto the bricks. This was not good. Jiren suddenly had the power to keep up with Ultra Instinct Omen, and as they fought, Jiren's actually slowly getting adapted to Ultra Instinct Omen's weird movements and speed. And Vegeta looks on concerned. Would he have to intervene to help Goku? Goku looked like he was having the fun of his life, so Vegeta didn't really want to intervene. However, he knew that if push comes to shove, he would have to step in. After all, this was a very high stakes tournament. However, as Goku was pushed to the brink of the arena, as Vegeta was almost on the brink of intervening, Goku suddenly taps into a new power as a new aura surrounds him, a whitish, silvery, glittery aura. Everyone looks on in shock as a white-haired Goku is born. Goku had finally tapped into the mastered version of Ultra Instinct. And Whis looks on in pride. His student had finally done it. All the other gods stand up as a form of respect to Goku. Goku is the first mortal to achieve the true state of an angel in decades, in centuries, in millennia. And now, Master Ultra Instinct Goku faces off against full power Jiren. The fight between Master Ultra Instinct Goku and full power limit breaker Jiren was a spectacle, a sight to behold. All the gods were amazed at the speed and tenacity of these two fighters, especially Master Ultra Instinct Goku, who was improving rapidly as he continued utilizing the form. Jiren tries to push Goku back, however, whatever Jiren doing was futile. Goku launches a powerful punch onto Jiren, sending him flying upwards. Afterwards, he powers up a very powerful Kamehameha, the most powerful Kamehameha he has ever unleashed. His Kamehameha launches straight towards Jiren, and Jiren can't believe it. He was being beaten. No matter what he did, he could not defeat Goku, and Jiren is fallen to his knees. Master Ultra Instinct Goku stands above Jiren. And unlike the original canon events, where Goku's power backlashes onto him, causing him to lose the Master Ultra Instinct form, well, Goku had control of Ultra Instinct Omen for quite a while now. So once he finally tapped into Master Ultra Instinct, well, he wouldn't have that sort of problem. And as Jiren launches his last few desperate attacks, Goku dodges each and every single one of them, counter-attacking in the process as well. Jiren is pushed backwards once again, and he could do nothing as he was sent out of the arena. Jiren was eliminated, and then afterwards the rest of the universes were eliminated as well. There was nothing they could do to withstand the assault from Universe 7. Goku points his thumb up towards his teammates. After all, they were doing most of the heavy lifting after Goku had defeated Jiren, due to Goku being tired from using the Master Ultra Instinct form. However, the MVP still goes to Goku. After all, Goku had defeated the single most powerful foe in the entire tournament, aka Jiren. And as we all know, Goku will wish to restore all of the universes that were erased. The Zenos were happy. This was a good outcome, the outcome they had predicted. And the Grand Priest conveys Goku's wish to the dragon. As usual, Frieza is revived by Whis as Beerus's reward to Frieza for doing pretty okay in tournament. I mean, Frieza didn't really carry the team this time around, but he did pretty okay. So now with Frieza resurrected and in the realm of the living, we all know what happens next, aka the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. So the movie starts with Goku and Vegeta training at Bulma's vacation home as usual. None of this really changes, none of the start of the movie actually changes much at all. So as usual, Frieza sent his soldiers to steal Bulma's Dragon Radar and 6 out of the 7 of the Dragon Balls Bulma had in possession. And as usual, after the 7 Dragon Balls were gathered, Frieza, Broly and Paragus arise on Earth. Paragus sends Broly to fight Vegeta to get revenge for the disservice that King Vegeta had did them many years ago. And now base Vegeta faces off against Broly. This is where things start to change drastically. Vegeta and Goku both have access to higher levels of power, aka Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct at this point in time. However, their base power levels are also much stronger than their canon selves. This was immediately evident in the beginning of the fight between Broly and Vegeta. Base Vegeta was actually stronger than base Broly, was easily able to push Broly back, forcing Broly to transform into his next state of power, aka his wrathful fury great ape state. Vegeta in his base form could not handle Broly, so he decides to transform into a Super Saiyan and was actually on par with Broly's power. So Vegeta decides to take it up one more notch as he transforms into Super Saiyan 2, completely overwhelmed wrathful Broly. Wrathful Broly could not do anything as he was being pummeled by Vegeta's barrage of attacks. Frieza knew that Broly was probably already at his limit. After all, these two Saiyans were quite powerful, and the fact that Broly could push them to Super Saiyan was already a pretty good accomplishment. However, he knew what he could do to push Broly even further. He looks at Paragus and thinks back to the carnage he had unleashed all the way back on planet Namek many years ago. After he had killed Krillin, Goku had ascended to a new state of power, aka the legendary Super Saiyan. So he does what he thought best and immediately kills Paragus, yelling at Broly to look at Paragus, that Paragus had actually been killed by the key blast exchanges between Vegeta and Broly. Broly takes a glance back at Paragus' fallen body and immediately in a shout of rage unleashes a Super Saiyan transformation. He had finally transformed, and Frieza just smiles. And now Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta was the one being overwhelmed by Broly. The tides had turned, and now Broly had the upper hand. So Vegeta decides just to not take things lightly any longer. Broly was a threat to the Earth, a threat to Bulma, a threat to his daughter Brula, and Trunks hanging out around at Capsule Corporation. So he transforms into Super Saiyan God, and immediately Super Saiyan Broly is overwhelmed. However, Super Saiyan Broly was growing at an extraordinary rate, and Broly finally decides to unleash his full power state, his full power legendary Super Saiyan transformation. This rapid jump in power from Broly actually surprised Vegeta as Vegeta was pushed backwards, and Vegeta knew that this fight had to end right here and now. Broly was threatening the infrastructure and stability of the Earth, and he knew that he had to end this fight immediately. So he decides to transform into Super Saiyan Blue, launching a full power Gallic gun towards Broly. He had to end this fight right here, and he could not allow Broly to raise his powers any longer. His power was just rising too rapidly for Vegeta to feel comfortable. So Broly could not actually handle the Gallic gun as he was sent pummeling straight into the Earth. Broly fainted as he turns back into his base form, and Goku is honestly kinda bummed out. He really wanted to challenge Broly for himself as well, but he could see that, the Earth was at risk, so he could respect Vegeta's decision. So this is where we will end things off for now. The moral arc has not yet been adapted into the anime. However, once it does, we'll revisit this series. I hope you guys enjoyed this series as much as I did, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.